When you were at Penn State, obviously one of the greatest schools in the country, and one of the toughest wrestling teams out there as well. What are some of your favorite memories of your time spent at Penn State, and what do you think is the biggest overall lesson you learned about yourself wrestling for the school?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I mean, I grew up. My dad went to Penn State. My several aunts and uncles went there. My family's from that area originally, so I grew up knowing I wanted to go to Penn State. I was going to football games as a kid, so like I really didn't give any of the other schools a fair chance of where I was going to go. But Penn State wrestling wasn't what it is now. When I went there, they were a respectable program, but they were nowhere near the level they're at now. And we kind of started to turn around with, I believe, with like my recruiting class my freshman year, and then moving forward, we started to get some pretty big time recruits. And I mean, my sophomore year, we had a really good program. We had 4 All-Americans, including myself, Phil Davis, who's was a national champion that year, Bubba Jenkins, who was a national finalist, ended up going to Arizona State, and Mark McKnight, who took 4th at 125 that year. We took 2nd or 3rd as a team, rather. We missed out on 2nd by, I think, a half a point or 1 full point. But we had a really good team. We were ranked number 1 in the country at some point that year. And that was, honestly, that was probably one of my favorite moments when you're kind of getting back to that, was we wrestled Lehigh and Oklahoma State on the same weekend. We traveled out to Lehigh, and we beat them 33-0 at Lehigh, and then got on a plane and flew out to Stillwater. And then I don't remember exactly what Oklahoma State was ranked, but they were ranked ahead of us, and we ended up beating them in their home gym. And however, I forget how it worked. I don't know if Iowa maybe lost a duel or something, but the new rankings came out, and we were the number 1 ranked team in the country. I just remember going to that first practice after the new rankings came out, and just like we were all warming up, and just kind of the thought in my head, like, we're the best group of wrestlers in the entire country. And that was just kind of a cool thought. It's probably they're too used to it now, but it was kind of it was really cool to be like, wow, we're this group of guys here, like we are the top team in the nation. So that was a really cool feeling. It wasn't necessarily like an exact moment, but it was a really cool feeling for that. I would say also, not wrestling related, but my first year at Penn State, we played Ohio State in football, and Penn State football had been really bad for a long time too. And we knocked off Ohio State at Penn State and stormed the field, ran out on the field and everything. And it was like I'd been in school it was October, so like, I don't know, like 5-6 weeks. And I don't know, it was just a really, really cool atmosphere, a night game, and everybody running on the field afterwards. So that was a lot of fun. And as far as wrestling, I mean, winning, I would say my most exciting wrestling memory would have been winning in the NCAA semifinals over the defending national champ, Jared King. He beat me twice that year, close matches both times. But that was really exciting, a moment I'll definitely never forget. And being able to wrestle up on the stage was something I had dreamed about for years before that. So that's something that's, definitely a memory that I will never, ever forget. So
that's so cool. That's awesome, man. There's something cool you said there that I really appreciate, and that is that you said that, when you were at Penn State, the wrestling program wasn't what it is now. But you're talking about the time where you guys became the number 1 ranked team, and you guys realized we're the best out there right now. We're number 1, and that's really cool. And I appreciate that, because it must be a special feeling. You also mentioned that for the guys that are kind of on the team now, they might be kind of used to being sort of in the upper levels, but it must be cool for you to be part of the initial team that got to that number 1 spot and kind of set the tone and set the standard and helped push the trajectory for Penn State to maintain high levels in the rankings like that. That must have been just a cool experience in itself, because like you said, it's one thing if you show up to a place where they're already kind of one of the top teams. It's another when you're joining the team and they weren't in the top spot yet, but through your work and effort as a team, you guys got yourselves there. I really appreciate. I thought that was a cool thing you pointed out there. It's really awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it was definitely really cool to be a part of that. And looking back, I mean, hey, I would rather have 4 team national title rings, but but it is cool to be able to say that we were kind of at the beginning of what they have become as this dynasty that they've built.